here is that the movies that I like to watch, and, what's your favorite movie, Mark? Slapshot. All right, what's that? Major League. After, of course, I did a commentary about how Solo was failing at the box office. I mean, I am a child of the era. We did watch Star Wars, but then it's like, wait a minute, Luke Skywalker isn't out there. I'm not watching Jar Jar Binks. No, it's the trilogy. That's Star Wars. Yeah, I had heard that, in that universe, Han and Princess Leia had gotten married and had a baby and all of that. They do have next generations and all that. So that there will be a next generation that can enjoy such things. I think it's wonderful to have a remake of Hawaii 5 matter. Could ask him, maybe we could have him back on and talk about, say, why now it seems like there are sports shows, if you will, and I hesitate to say TV shows due to the fact that, we're watching TV now on Hulu or something. We're watching it on our computers. We watch it on YouTube. You're watching me on Facebook if you're not listening to it on the radio. That's how it's a whole different concept of TV now. A little bit different. But here's the thing. There's now that deal with sports that we never had before. It's one of the reasons why I think that, I tell you this all the time. I think Monday Night Football is on its last legs. Now, I don't think Jason Witten killed it. I think that he didn't help it out any, but it wasn't going to be any good, but still. The circumstance comes out with this. We get now with, we hear all this about playmakers. Remember that show back in 2003. And it was cut off by the NFL. Basically, they said, look, if you want to cover us, ESPN, if you want to have our games, don't make us look bad with this soap opera. Which was very hard-hitting. It was somewhat realistic. Although it had every controversy of the last 20 years in the NFL happening to. But still, it's good drama. And friends who loved it. Players in the NFL hated it. I was covering the NFL at the time. For $1.9 billion, do you think ESPN, as they go forward, is going to want to have one football game a week and one playoff game? Or do you think they'd rather cover the NFL in a more journalistic fashion? What about this CTE? What about this head injury? Asking the tough questions. Being Marky Billson, asking about concussions. Not having to worry about a lack of access, so to speak, hey, we cover our game, we'll go elsewhere. And then they could bring back a playmakers. That sort of thing. But no, you get Brockmire these days. So many TV shows. And I can recall it used to be back in the day, they all failed. They tried to make a TV show out of Ball 4, the book, Ball 4, didn't make it. Just a few episodes. Jim Bouton was part of it, did not make it. Ben Davidson, the old Raiders football player, was on it. There was one that everybody thought was going to work at the time. It was a drama. It was by the same people that created Have to be a hit. They called it Bay City Blues. It was about a minor league baseball team. What I remember, Dennis France talking about his baseball card collection. He was a third base coach on it. Michael Norrie sleeping with a married woman. That's what I remember. Okay, that's what I remember. It didn't last very long. It wasn't, there wasn't, and I kind of wanted the baseball, that sort of thing. It was, hey, let's see what, have that aspect. Didn't really have it. You saw pitch recently. That didn't make it. I think it was just a little far-fetched. Wait a minute. Female pitcher. Isla Borders really wasn't that good. We're not ready for that yet. Maybe sometimes it'll happen. I read a novel once, The Man Who Brought the Dodgers Back to Brooklyn. It focused in on, among other things, the first female pitcher in the big leagues. Okay. It helped me out, all this. I paid off, I don't know, a car debt or something like that. It worked out well for me. My name's out there. People ask me about it. Hey, it worked out well. TV series, keeping it on for a while. It's a little bit, you got to be believable. You got to be, all this. Alan Eisenstock would know about that. So, anyhow, I'm talking around a lot of different things. Tri-City Sports Now. I did say that I wanted to talk a little bit about Sports Talk Radio and the Bruins and all of this. Before I go there, I think, since I'm going to just hold that off and put that into the next segment, and we'll finish the show up there, but there was a story that came out, and, you had the NBA draft lottery, and I said yesterday, I don't like these draft lotteries. I really believe worst team ought to pick first, second worst team ought to pick second. By the way, if you're wondering, hey, how come the best team wouldn't pick first, which is an old argument and such, and in pro sports, what would happen is you would have teams become the Vanderbilt Commodores and have 25 straight losing seasons on that model, economically. So, parity, Pete Rozelle realized this a long time ago, is what keeps sports solvent. In the 1950s, when the Yankees absolutely dominated, 6 of the 16 teams in the league, almost 40%, moved. I mean, think about that. That was tough competition. There was some other reasons here. But anyway, draft lotteries. Okay. I just think, look, you finish last. Look at the end. Again, NFL draft doesn't have that. Look at the celebration, the draft. Because in that day, the Arizona Cardinals were the glamour franchise of the NFL. It was the only day they were going to be that. But hey, even they had a moment in the sun. But there have been a lot of talk about draft lottery conspiracy theories. And although a lot of people are poo-pooing it because I don't know if anybody's really looked into that ping pong ball cart, that sort of thing. Anyway, let's just, or weighted the balls or whatever. I mentioned to you, there's 7, there's a sports writer, and I guess we'll get to this in the next segment, James DeTore. And I'll begin with this, and we'll finish up with the Bruins and Sports Talk Radio and Wise Guy host up in Boston and all that in our next segment. But anyway, there are 7 NBA draft lottery conspiracy theories. I will share them courtesy of James DeTore with you. Tell you sort of what I remember of them, what they are. And also, hey, look, this is just as bad, these conspiracy theories, as these allegations of tanking. So why do we have this? Tri-City Sports Now.